Again, that inner voice, why do we not trust it? We don't trust that inner voice because we want to second guess ourselves, and we want to tell ourselves, well, I'm not sure. Maybe, let's see, will this happen? That happened in my past, and maybe this is going to not work out the same. We've got to stop doing that. We've got to stop doing that. Now, if somebody wants to volunteer to do this, I'll take it. You sure? Okay, well, Faith said she would, so you're good, because I know you've helped so much. This down arrow. Go. Now, we're going to talk about the actual process. Every single thing that we do in life is a process. Everything you plan. You do project planning, it's a process. You plan your vacation, it's a process. Did you all know that most of us plan our vacations better than we plan our lives? I'm serious. I'm serious. Some people don't even realize that you have to plan your life. People believe that, oh, whatever happens, happens, and I'm just going to go with the flow. You do not have to go with the flow. There's a process, and you're going to learn that process. The first leg is acknowledge. You have to acknowledge what's not working. Unless you acknowledge it, it's going to continue. You're going to stay on the spin cycle. It's like putting yourself in the dryer and hitting the spin cycle, and you're going to be in there forever and ever and ever and ever and ever until you acknowledge what's not right, until you acknowledge what's wrong, until you acknowledge all the toxic people in your life, until you acknowledge all the toxic behaviors, until you acknowledge what got you here. It's going to remain that way. Then you have to act. Now, oftentimes we don't want to acknowledge things because it's going to force us to act. And we don't want to change. Oh, that means I have to do something different. And I don't want to do anything different. I want to keep it just the way it is. Because this has always been. Then once we act and put the changes in place, we have to affirm it in our lives. We have to cement it in. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to cement that in your subconscious. Right now, your subconscious is running on autopilot. But we're going to learn how to reverse that autopilot situation, so that you can change everything in your subconscious and reprogram it. Because right now, with all the toxic stuff that you're dealing with, you continue to curse it and nurse it and rehearse it. But today, we're going to reverse it. You've got to anticipate that obstacles are going to come. They are going to happen. It's part of life. We cannot live in this life without dealing with obstacles. So we've got to anticipate and be ready and adjust when it occurs. Be ready to adjust our plan, because the bottom line is that we want to achieve. We want to achieve our goals. We want to achieve a successful life. We want to achieve everything in life that God wanted you to have. Achievement, success, it's not a destination. You don't wake up one day and say, I'm here, I arrived. It's a continual journey over and over all the time. You look at people in Hollywood and they have everything that you could imagine. Wow, if I had that type of life, so why are they committing suicide and getting stuck on drugs and all of these crazy things? They obviously have some things that they have not addressed, some things they have not acknowledged. Now, the first step is acknowledgement. 2 more. We have got to face whatever is inside of us. Now, I wrote on my mask too, and there was a time in my life when I had to acknowledge all these things. Misery, anxiety, embarrassment, depression, self-hate, and failure. Now, I talk about this a lot in my book, Lies, Love, and Life, which is what this is based on. I worked for IBM Corporation, a global dynasty. I was making deep 6 figures, in excess of $200,000 a year. had $1 million house with a lake view, powerful friends, a spouse with powerful friends, but I was miserable. Now, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I had all that stuff. Why wasn't I happy? Because all that external stuff, I can tell you right now, money does not buy happiness. Because if it did, just like I said a few minutes ago, you wouldn't see all these people in Hollywood ODing on drugs. They got money. They got stuff, status, trinkets. It's not about what's parked in your garage. It's not about what's in your bank account. It's not about the clothes you wear. It's not even about how you look. Yeah, people see your glory, but they don't know your story. I don't care who you are. I don't care how beautiful you are, how successful you are, how rich you are. Every single person has a story. And I promise you there's a struggle behind it. And until you learn how to dig inside, acknowledge what all is going on, it's going to continue. Now I want you to look at your handout, page 2. And this is the first interactive exercise, and I want us to do this together. I want you to place a check mark beside each of those statements at the bottom down there. Place a check mark beside each one of those statements that you believe is true for you. This is for you, not anybody else. This is you. Place a check mark beside each statement that you believe is true. Yes. You need some? Can we get her another handout?
I need one here.
A couple. How'd that happen? She needs one. And he needs one, please. You good, Anita? Okay. Page 2. Check mark. Beside whichever one's true for you. And I'll give you about 30 more seconds. Okay, now I want to see a show of hands of everyone who has a check mark, period. Just, it doesn't matter how many. So pretty much everyone in here. Okay, that's good. That's good. Because I want you to know every single one of these statements is a self-lie. It's a self-lie. Why do you feel like you need love and approval from family and friends? Because you haven't connected with the inner you. Because you keep asking other people for their bad advice. And that's going to keep you stuck on that spin cycle. Why is it difficult to change? Because you don't want to? Why do you feel like your spouse or your significant other has to be compatible with you? They're them and you're you. Why are you not focusing on you? Number 5, I just got to skip down there. I would be happier if I could lose weight. I would be happier if I lost weight. How many checked that one? Okay. I need for somebody to really keep it real and tell me, why would you be happier if you lost weight? I just,
I don't like when I'm up and, you know how you bend over and try to tie your shoes and it's like all in the way, it's like
come down front. Come down. I want you to come down front. She checked this when she said she would be happier if she lost weight. Will you look at that? Look at that. But that is a good, that you say?
I've gained weight. I've gained like 30 pounds. I used to be like 115 and I'm like pushing a number that I don't even want to say.
Mm-hmm. And I understand, thank you, sweetheart. I totally understand where she's coming from, because when I was in my toxic marriage, extremely toxic marriage, I mean verbally abusive, psychologically abusive, emotionally abusive, and at the weight I am now, I was probably 30 pounds lighter. And my spouse called me fat and disgusting. Yeah. So I felt the same way too. I was like, oh wow, I really need to lose weight. Now, people are asking me, are you anorexic? Because I'm so tall, but even 30 pounds lighter than I am right now, he had me believing, because I allowed it, I gave my power to him, I believed that I was fat.